Hello again. So one of my subscribers asked me about the hinges for the fold-down back seat. So while I have it out, I figured I'd do a quick video on them. It's a pretty simple thing. You just have this, flat plane right here that kicks up, and then 90 degrees there, and that's your actual pivot point for the hinge. And then you have this follower arm right here, which is pretty simple. It just rivets on and rivets on, and it's got a latch right here, like a spring-loaded latch. This is, I guess, to keep it in the down position. You see it will be folded down right now. If I can do it by hand. And then let's see. Let me get a hammer, hang on. Okay, here we are again. I tapped it back to get it off the latch. And all it does is, fold up like that. That's it. So this would be the fully closed position against the backrest of the car. And then, as it folds out, grabs that. Got a lot of play in these things, so I'll probably be taking them apart and shimming them up. I mean, they function. I just, that's kind of sloppy. And I'm showing you this side because the other side, it tends to stick. It's like it's camming over and it gets stuck. I don't know why it would do that unless there was excessive play in it, but I'll take it all apart. I'll figure it out. Hopefully I can just make new rivets or buy something to fit in there. We'll figure it out. So, as I recall, I actually watched my Firebird video last night that showed how I put the seat in the car, how I took it apart, I cleaned it all up. And from what I remember of the video last night, you unbolt all this stuff. And this whole metal back panel, that basically is the support for the seat. Under this metal panel, it's just a regular seat. It's just a narrower one. It has the springs in it, the stuffing, all that crap. But it has a metal flange around the perimeter that this bolts to. There's bolts down here, there's screws up here, and this thing here is like a finishing panel. I think it just gives it a nice rounded edge, and I think it's also, when the seat's folded down, keeps things from sliding off because it has this, 3/4 inch tall lip, which is kind of clever. So that's how it worked. That's where all the weight is. I mean, if you really want to cut weight out, you can probably drill holes in this thing under the rug, but then you're gonna have loose areas where you put stuff on it. I wouldn't do that. I was just thinking out loud. So yeah, basically this is how it goes. This is all part of the back panel, and then the hinge bolts here and there and there, and the hinges do all the work. The seat just goes along for the ride. I don't know if it's a funny story, but I'll tell you a story. I'm always looking for deals and stuff like this because I know they have value. Now that I know what these seats are going for these days, if I see one cheap, I'll grab it and just either resell it or whatever, trade it to somebody. So I saw a guy local. I live in Wakefield. This guy's in Danvers. Danvers is a 20-minute ride from my house. He had a 67 seat, and while I have this in front of me, the 67 seat has what they call slam latches. It just has like little sheet metal things that stick to the side of the seat, I believe, or they go on the car and they touch the seat. But basically, they just have it's like a aluminum or a spring steel finger. So when the seat comes up, it just rides over it and it holds it. That's it. That's all that holds 67s up. So all you do is just grab them and pull them down and push them back up again. 68 and 69 have that latch like my car has, and it has the the door striker right here like I showed you. That's the only functional difference. So 68 and 69 are the same. 67 is the oddball, which you would think would make it worth more money, but it seems like 67s are more common and they all go for the same stupid amount of money. So anyway, let's get back to my story. So the guy in Danvers had a 67 fold down back seat. I think he started out wanting like $600, $650, which is a good price, but it had no hinges. And I know these hinges are really hard to find. Nobody reproduces them yet that I'm aware of. So I went on eBay and tried to find hinges, and there was one guy. I think he was asking like $650 for them or something like that. And I said, Jesus, $650, that's ridiculous. So I just put on my watch list and I waited to see if the price would come down. I don't know about you guys, but I find on eBay, when I put them on my watch list, within a day, I get an email. Seller has offered you, 20% off, 10% off, 8% off, whatever number they think of. So it's always like, ooh, good thing I didn't buy it for the buy it now price. So I was watching them to see if they came down. And I was also watching the guy in Danvers 67 fold down back seat, and he knocked it down to, I think he went as low as like either $475 or $375. It was in that area. It was very attractive. But I kept thinking, without the hinges, I can't do anything with it. Plus, it's a 67. I don't have a 67. I probably never will. So, make a long story short, the guy with the hinges knocked him down from like $650 to I think $475. which was still stout, but it was getting more attractive, and they were gone like an hour later. It's like, son of a bitch, I should have got them, but whatever, it's no big deal. So needless to say, I didn't buy a spare seat, and I didn't buy the hinges, but if you see hinges for sale and they're reasonable, jump on them, because I do not believe they reproduce them. I haven't seen any. So anyway, that's how the fold-down seat works. You just got these simple hinges, which someone should reproduce. I mean, they're only, what is that, 3/16 steel? So they're stout, but they're not, I mean, this isn't impossible to make by any means. I'm sure the parts place, once they get enough people who want them, they'll stop popping them out of, Taiwan or wherever. Although right now with a 146% tariffs and everything, it won't be very attractive. But anyway, that's the story. That's how it works. That's what it looks like. Take a good look. Oh, one more thing. This is the hole where the stud goes through and the nut goes on. Remember I told you the bottom is like a bayonet or a spear? It's this. So if you look in the car, there's just a little, it's a pocket. I call it a pocket. You see it? It's just that thing. Let me get a light. I'm working in the dark here. Okay, so this is the bracket that welds into the floor. And you can see the nut fell off and sitting right there. So the bracket just welds to the car. The stud, it's welded to the back of the bracket. And then this is just your angle piece. And there is the pocket right there. That spear, if you want to call it a spear, that locates into. So that goes into that. And then the seat just tilts back onto the studs. It's a very simple design. And like I was saying, you can't really screw this up too much. I mean, it's beveled to the floor angle, so it kind of locates itself. It's just a matter of the left and right. That pocket it goes into is pretty big. So you could probably push it all the way over to one side and change it about 5/8 worth, but who's gonna do that? So it's pretty self-explanatory where it goes. And plus, if you have a fold-down back seat, you just measure the distance between the holes, and that tells you where it goes. So that's how it goes. That's where it goes. That's how they work. That's the whole deal. So I hope that was educational for the guy who asked and anybody else who might have a question about it. If it wasn't, let me know. I'll do another video, but it's pretty simple setup. Every time I have one of these in my hands, I say I should take measurements and make a spare set of hinges, and I never do. I mean, this is only the second time I've had a fold-down seat. Well, third time, actually, I've had one of these in my hands. I have so many projects going on. I would love to make these things. I mean, I'd like to have a nice brand new pair out of stainless steel or something, but maybe when I have these off, I'll take some measurements and try to make them. I mean, to make those hinge pieces, the clamshell, whatever you want to call them, that would be tough for me. I mean, I can't form steel like that. I mean, I would have to, I don't know how I'd make that. I'd have to cut and weld all this together. And, I can do it, and it will work, but it's so much easier just to let somebody in Taiwan do this, or find a used pair. I mean, look at all the angles on this thing, and depressions, and yikes. So that's a little beyond me, but whatever. Do what you got to do. So anyway, I hope that helped. Like I said, if it didn't, you have any other questions, let me know. I have the seat out. It'll be out for a while longer. I can take more video, take some pictures, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.